Dr. Molly here again. I'm a professor at the University of Detroit Mercy. I teach in the College of Health Professions over there, and I'm one of the co-founders of Associates in Primary Care. One of the things we want to do at Associates in Primary Care is educate the public on their disease processes, because we believe that if patients understand their disease, they're more likely to be able to better manage that disease. This video in our diabetes series is going to focus on treatment. And then what we do is we will follow a patient's glucose level. Sometimes we will send them home with a glucometer. That's the little thing where you poke your finger and then you can check what your glucose is doing at any given time. The newer technologies that are out now use Bluetooth to use continuous glucose monitoring. You may have seen these. There's a couple different brands out there, Dexcom, Freestyle Libre. These are really cool technologies. It's this little button, and you put you put it in the subcutaneous tissue, either under your arm or in your abdomen, and the device is then paired to your phone. And then you open the app on your phone and you scan this device, and you can tell all day, every day what your blood sugars are doing. These are fantastic technologies just to train type 2 diabetic patients what they should be eating. Sometimes, because obviously insurance is not going to pay for all of these things depending on your insurance, but sometimes we will recommend to patients to see if their doctor has a sample of a continuous glucose monitor that they can use, or they can just purchase one for a 2-week period, because the monitor will stay on for 2 weeks. And then what we do during that 2-week period is we just have the patient start scanning their sugars all day. And what that does is it trains the patient. If I eat this, my sugar does that. And then they can start learning on their own. Oh, if I have spaghetti, my sugar goes way too high. Or if I have cereal, my sugar goes way too high. And so the patients really start learning what kinds of foods they can eat. And it's a fantastic tool that the patients can use to start managing their diabetes and learning about their diabetes on their own. This is an example of the reports that we get from a patient who is wearing a continuous glucose monitor. So you can see that this patient has had his monitor on from October 19th to November 1st. It goes for 14 days. It's been active 71% of the time, meaning he has been within range of his phone that much of the time. We tell all of our patients they've got to keep their phone near them when they're wearing these monitors. And then you can see over here, again, our target range is you always want your glucose between 70 and 180. High range is 80 to 250, and very high is over 250. You can see that this patient is in target range 80% of the time. Obviously, we'd like that to be much closer to 100%. He's high in the high range, 18%, and very high, 1%. He's also having 1% hypoglycemic episodes down in the 54 to 69 range. This gives us an average glucose over the last 2 weeks of 147, meaning he's not very well controlled. And it averages out his A1C, this is that glucose management indicator, of 6.8. So he is still in the type 2 diabetic range. We can go down here and trend. This is the 2-week trends of what his glucose does throughout the day. So we can see overnight he is dipping down, and this is common because overnight is when you're not eating that's the longest period of the day when you're not having food. So this is when we see people's glucose starting to drop. You can tell he's probably waking up around 7 or 8 in the morning, starting to eat, and as soon as he eats, look what's happening. Whatever he's having for breakfast, usually it's probably not the right thing. Comes down a little bit, spikes again around lunchtime, spikes again around dinner time. So what I do is that I start talking to the patient, and we start looking exactly what he's eating. Now these gaps here tell me that he's not been near his phone. So when it went back to that 71%, this is the 71% where he's either not near his phone, something happened to the monitor, I don't know. So it's a little hard to tell the data here, but you can see the times of day he's spiking right around his meal times, basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he's spiking. So, what it tells us is we need to work on food that he's not eating the right things. So, yeah, I was going to show you this is a scatter plot that we get, and so you could see sometimes on those very low numbers, it's here in these overnight hours. And so, what I would tell the patient at this point is make sure that you're having a snack, like a complex carbohydrates, like apple with peanut butter or something like that at night, so to prevent these hypoglycemic episodes that he's getting. And we get daily ranges, what the average is, throughout each specific date. And so we can really sit down with the patient and start figuring out, okay, like this day, whatever he had for lunch was the wrong thing because now his sugar is going up, really high. Now, when a patient's sugar is this high, we tell them start drinking water and start moving. You got to get that glucose down. So start moving. He probably had some fast acting sugar, probably some carbohydrates or something like that, because then you can see that it's really starting to spike. And now he's in low territory. So we really need to start educating the patients on what to eat, how to eat, because you really want their sugars a little bit more like this. This day was a good day for him. His numbers were fairly good throughout the day. A couple of days it got up a little high, 206, but it was a much better day than when he was jumping up, like here, like 254, 300s. So we can really start talking about, and I have the patients keep a food log, like what did you eat on any particular day, and we can really start delving down, and the patient can learn a lot. So this is the benefit of wearing a continuous glucose monitor. So I would give that a shot. Check it out.